Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. So we are down to the last few days before our pond build is going to start. We've got a Cat 312 and a skid steer coming as a rental. They'll be delivered here in 2 days. And we have some final site preparation work we need to do before that equipment gets here. The first is going to be, if you've watched some of our last videos, we kind of outlined with our brush hog a general idea of how big we wanted the pond to be, the shape of the pond, and location. So we need to go in and brush hog all that grass down. And then the second thing is, since we're losing our markers for where we want the borders of the pond to be, we need to go out and flag out where we want, the dam to be and the rest of the border of the pond. And then after that, I've got my neighbor Doug, who's gonna be bringing his Bobcat E60 mini excavator over here, and we're gonna dig some test holes. And what we're really looking for there is, what is our soil composition? Do we have enough clay that's gonna hold water and our pond isn't gonna leak? So we're gonna dig probably 10 to 15 foot holes right in the middle where the pond's gonna be, and hopefully hit some groundwater or some springs to fill that hole so we can see whether the soil underneath will actually hold water or if it's just gonna drain out. So that's the plan for today. Let's hop on the brush hog. All right, so there is our first test hole. It's about 8 feet deep, kind of a good news, bad news situation. There is clay there, but there's also a lot more rock than I would have liked. But from what I understand, as long as you don't hit a bedrock or like a shale pit, it should still hold water. There's still quite a bit of clay mixed in with this. And if you take a look over here, if I grab a handful, I think what you're looking for is if you can create clumps like that, you've got clay in there and it should hold water. So like I said, good news, bad news. We're gonna go ahead and dig about 3 more holes in different areas where we're planning on putting the pond. Hopefully we find a little bit more clay than what's in this first hole here. All right, here's the second test hole. We went down about 6 feet deep and the results are much better on this one. If you look all the way down to the bottom, we've got a solid wall of clay. You can kind of tell it looks like a giant wall of wax. And if we come over here to this dirt pile from all the fill dirt and take a handful, this stuff should clump up a lot better. See that? That's how you know you're gonna have a pretty water impervious wall of clay. So for our third test hole, we decided to come up here where the spring is going to be feeding the pond. You can see the spring comes out right there and runs down through the field this way. And we've got more good news, lots of clay here as well. And this is actually already starting to fill up with water. If you can see right there, this is where the water has been dripping in. And then down there, we are holding water and it's only been about an hour. One other thing I wanted to touch on before wrapping this video up, and that is the type of pipe that you should use when building a pond for your standpipe through the dam and then for your drain pipe. And that is this SDR 35 over here. Now, I did not know that when I went to go buy pipe. I went to my local supply store and said, hey, I'm building a pond. You know, I want to go with as big a diameter as I can so that I don't have to worry about the drain pipe getting plugged or anything like that, because that seems to be the biggest point of failure in these ponds is the standpipe getting plugged. And I wanted to go with a larger diameter. So they said, sure, we've got some culvert here we'll send you home with. And that's what you have to be careful of when you're asking for advice from the people working behind the counters of these supply stores, is oftentimes they don't really know what the intended use of these products are. So this 12-inch culvert pipe here is soil tight, but it is not watertight. They click lock together, but they don't have a watertight seal. They're really just meant for keeping soil from getting inside the pipe. Whereas this SDR 35, if you look, it has a rubber gasket where every joint is going to mate up and it keeps a watertight and soil tight seal. Now this stuff is quite a bit more expensive. For about 180 foot of pipe for this was $1,600. Now granted, this is 8-inch. This here, about 180 feet of 12-inch, was only $1,200. So smaller diameter and $400 more for the same lineal foot of pipe. Like I said, some of you may already have known that you need to use SDR35 for underground piping through a dam. I did not, so now I've got the hassle of loading all this stuff back up in the dump trailer and taking it back. However, if this video helps anybody that's thinking about digging a pond and prevents them from making the same mistake, you want to use SDR35. Alright guys, so I was pretty nervous to make this video. I was pretty nervous to have Doug bring his excavator over and start poking holes where the pond's going to be. You know, it could have gone one or two ways. We could have either had really good clay or we could have had a lot of rocks. If we had a lot of rocks, that was going to really jack up the price of this project because we would have had to have trucking in triaxle loads of clay to line the bottom, build our dam out of. But it looks like we already have the material we're going to need on site here. So we can go ahead and move forward with the next step, which is going to be taking delivery of our rental equipment and starting to dig. If you guys enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up. If you want to follow along as we dig this pond, click that subscribe button, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.